So thank you very much, Isabelle, for taking the time to talk to our Blue Like an Orange community. It's a great pleasure and honor to have us with you. Until recently, you were head of WWF in France, and you've published a number of analyses on the post-COVID world. And I would like to start by asking you, what do you see as the main challenges in this post-COVID world in France and in the world?
I would say for me the first word is vulnerability. With this crisis, we just discovered how vulnerable we are, even our rich societies. Of course, pandemic is not only for Africa. What we can see now is that rich people are richer. The number of poor people are increasing. So it means for me more difficulties, more conflicts inside the societies and between countries. Means more migrations, more defiance, temptation of withdrawal on your family, on your people, on your country. So that is one very big risk for me. On the other hand, we've seen very nice example of solidarity. So the subject is how we can deal with that, how we can help merging solidarity facing defiance. And the COVID crisis shows us something else, is that we are one world. We have been confined, almost half of the planet, half of the people at the same time. This is absolutely incredible. It never happened before. So we have to continue to stay on this global and planetary point of view. If not, we won't fix the problems. The second big idea for me is nature. We forgot nature for a lot of decades, but suddenly we realize we are relying on nature. We've seen that these pandemics are for 60% due to destruction of nature, cutting the forests, drying the marshes, poaching wildlife. This is putting humanity at risks, and we have seen the results. So how can we being able to continue our development without destroying this nature? That's the second main, I would say, main challenge for the next years.
Thank you. And in that big picture, I mean, finance was considered the problem for the previous crisis. Now finance has shown itself as being as helpful as possible. I don't know to what extent can help finance going forward help address the challenges you have highlighted. Do you think finance is going in the right direction?
Yes and no. Finance is still incredibly powerful in our society. We all know that where money is, things happen. And finance knows that. So I think finance realizes with this crisis that she's not off the ground. There is no finance without economy, and there is no economy without human in good health. And there is no human in good health without a planet in good health. I remember 5 years ago, WWF proposes the concept of the 3 S. Maybe you know that. Sustainability, stability, security. Which means that a world which is not sustainable is not stable, and consequently, it's not safe. And I think this COVID crisis is the exact thing that happened. So I think finance is moving. When you see, by example, the global risks report in Davos, it's more and more environmental risks that are pointed out, and so finance has to move, even to stay alive. So finance is moving. We can see that. I remember also, I would say 10 or 5 years ago, all these ideas were just unthinkable, and now they are on their way. Not, I mean, it's not quick enough. the next 10 years are so important just to move on. It's not a change, it's at least a revolution that we all have to do, not only finance, but it's absolutely indispensable. We cannot continue like that. And it's, I would say, incredibly exciting too. Just to think about a new world, to think about a new connections, new manners of being. So it's not frustrating. It's more exciting for me.
Yeah, I like, and it's very much what I think too, that we need to have a systemic approach, as you say, the planet, the people, the system, etc. The question is not so much the direction, but the speed. I mean, you say we're not going fast enough. So you have an audience of investors in this room. If there was one message you wanted to share with them, what would it be?
I would say we have to stop thinking of sustainable development as a crossing. You know, this little game of crossing of social, environmental, and economical world. This is a mistake. I would say sustainable development, it's like a cake with different slices, or like a pie. You have the bottom is the planet. And the bottom, it's physical, chemical, biological pillars. We need them just to develop ourselves. And then Homo sapiens is coming, and Homo sapiens can play with all of that and imagine societies, economics, and whatever, governance, whatever you want. So we have to think about all our decisions, first of all, regarding these big pillars, these big things, which are the basis. And do I make harm to them or not? And if we don't have this point of view, then we can be sure that we will have to pay the price. Because if we are destroying the basis, then we are destroying our societies.
Yes, we are investing in Latin America. So sometimes people say sustainable development, this is something for the nice guy of the advanced economy, and they want to lecture the rest of the world about, we have done bad things, but you should change. And this is not our approach, and you know that. But what would you say to economic leaders in Latin America or tomorrow in Africa, that having this approach does matter? It's not a luxury.
It's absolutely not a luxury, because those people, the people that are closer to nature, they are relying on nature for everything in their lives. And it matters for them maybe more than for us. When you have got population that is fishing somewhere, they are relying for their own food and fisheries. And destroying the fisheries, it's a drama for them. It means that they will have to move. So it's maybe much more important than for us in rich countries, because if we don't have fish, we can eat something else. It's not a problem. So I think the more you are close to nature, the most nature is important for you, and also the more you can you can be involved in keeping nature alive. We have to rely also on communities. They know a lot of things we don't know. They know how to deal with nature, and they are still connected with nature. And most of us are not anymore. So we have to think about that before.
Yeah, I think for me it's critical that we work as partners, not as lecturer, and I think it's extremely important. So you spend a significant part of your life on the ocean, which is also a big part of Earth, if I may say. So how do you see the future of oceans, and what do you see from the ocean that you don't see from Earth?
When you are sailing, you understand something immediately, is that you are inside nature. You live upon nature. You don't decide the wind's direction. You don't decide the wave pace. You just have to observe, try to understand, and then take a decision. And you have to play with the elements. If you don't do that, you're dead. That's very simple. So when you come back ashore, you just look around and say, wow, here the people, they are not doing that. They are not observing. They are not trying to understand how it works. And they are taking decisions out of nothing. So you feel that they are playing the bad game. So it's really maybe one of the reasons why I turned into an environmentalist. It's these lessons I took on the ocean, and also because I'm a marine biologist, I could see how rich is the ocean with life, and maybe for us with energy, biotech, food, inspiration, all of that, and we are wasting that. So I say, wow, we have all of that around us. Our planet is a planet with an ocean, which is incredible. We haven't found any other planet like that.
Yeah.
So we have to keep that alive.
No, thank you. So let's imagine, I don't know whether you've done this in the past. You're sailing and you have the opportunity to throw a message in a bottle, expecting that message to reach a welcoming shore. What would you write today in that bottle?
Regarding the situation, I think when I was a child, we had like a small sentence at home we use very often. That was the worst is never sure. And for me, it's very important. It means that the worst can happen. We have to face it. We have to think about it seriously. But it's not done. And it relies upon us. So we can change the world. We can, we have the energy, we have the potential, we have the skill to decide what we want. And so I think I would like to put that in the bottle. The worst is not sure.
Yes, and actually it's interesting because in my family people added the worst is not sure, and when it happens it's never disappointing.
Which is very close.
Yes, no, thank you, Isabelle. Just to conclude this brief discussion, if I tell you blue like an orange, what do you see?
Of course, the poem of Paul Éluard. And there is one word missing, is because the exact sentence is the earth is blue like an orange.
Exactly.
So for me, it means two things. First of all, for investors, the fundamental word is the earth. That's why you didn't play with that word. You didn't use that word. And the second word is, for me, because it's poetry, means that there are not only numbers in our life. There is also poetry, there is also spirit, art, inspiration, and all of that can help us to find solutions. And we have to use that. We have to imagine, we have to dream, we have to create maybe unconventional solutions. And that's our proudness, in fact, as a species, being able to do all of that. So fair wind to like an orange.
Thank you very, very much, Isabelle. And we'll keep you posted of the color of the earth.
Thank you.